guys, so I'm gonna kind of take you through a game of Catan on the computer, go over how to use the client, and also a bit of like my strategy and the kind of general strategy you're gonna use. Like, of course, the strategy can get much broader from there, but this is just basic stuff to get you going where you can start learning from. So the first thing we're gonna do is go to colonist.io. That's the website, and you can over here you can see that I'm logged in, and you can kind of choose if you want to create a login thing. You can just sign in through Google. Makes things pretty easy, that way people know what your name is. But so right now I'm going to be doing a bot game with these bots, so I'm just going to click play. When we're actually doing our games, we'll give you the person that makes the game will send a link. You click on a link, you join the game. It's pretty self-explanatory, but for now I'm just going to play with some bots so I can kind of teach you what's up. So first thing we see is I am selecting my starting position for my first settlement. And this is important because you can kind of see there's a variety of options to pick from here. The general rule of thumb when you're picking your starting position is every single time you want to pick the spot that maximizes the amount of resources you're probably going to get. 9 times out of 10, the winner of any game of Catan is going to be the person that gets the most resources. And so you can tell how many resources a spot is going to give you based off the number and the number of dots. And so these numbers, you see 6 and 8 have 5 dots underneath it. That means that basically the probability of rolling those numbers is high. It's rated as a 5. You can see 2 over here and 12 over here both have 1 dot. That's because there's only one possible combination of rolls that gets you 2 and 12, so they're low. So really you want to pick the spot that gets the most combined dots. So for me, usually that means you're going to pick a spot next to a 6 or an 8 if you have it. So I have this spot here, I have next to the 6 and next to this 8. There's these possibilities where I have 3 tiles I can pick from, and one of them is a 5 spot. And so looking around here, it looks like this spot right here, the 6, 11, and the 5, has the most resources that's going to produce. So I'm going to pick that spot. Now there's a lot more variety and strategy that can go into picking the original spot. You can think about where your opponents might put their spots and where you're going to put your second settlement, because you get to pick 2 settlements. But at the beginning, it's a good rule of thumb to just kind of pick the spot that it's going to yield you the most resources. So I'm going to click here. And so now I get to pick my road. The road can be tough. The idea is you want to kind of think about where you might want to expand from here. And so looking around, I'm just gonna throw it right here. It doesn't really matter at the beginning. It's the strategy for that is not something I'm going to go into right now. So you can see now I have my second option for picking a spot. So looking around, there's a spot over here that has an 8 again and 2 spots next to it. And so looking around, this is the spot that's going to give me the most resources long term. So I'm going to pick that spot again. So I can click right here, and I'm actually going to put my road going down so I can maybe think about connecting to my other settlement and building a large road. And so by having the largest road, you get 2 bonus victory points. So now you can see the game started. So the bot turns and go pretty fast. They're going to roll their dice. And right at the top here, you can see someone's already offered a trade. And so you can kind of choose. You can either offer trades on your turn or accept trades on other people's turns. All right, okay, so now it's my turn. And you can see I hear a little sound. You heard that. And you also see the dice are starting to flash. So I'm going to click on the dice, and that's going to roll. And so now I have essentially 4 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes on over here. And you can see now I need to think about what I want to do. So I can see my resources down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Actually, my face cam's covering that. So let me move my face cam up here. Cool. All right. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, I have all my resources. So looking here, I got to think basically essentially do I want to try to build a second settlement or go for a city right now? And so second settlement, the thing is if you're building a settlement, it has to be at least 2 road spaces away from the nearest other settlement. So I don't really see any good spots. So what I think I might actually just do is I'm going to actually buy a development card. And the reason I do that is they're useful, but also you can see I currently have 6 cards in hand. You don't want to have too many cards in the hand at your turn, because if a 7 gets rolled, you have to discard your hand, or half your hand if you have 8 or more cards. And so I'm going to try to usually stay under 4 or 5 cards at the end of my turn. So I'm going to buy a development card. Cool. So I did it. Now I can click this button to pass my turn. You can see I got a soldier. And so that soldier I can use to move the robber if I want to. It's nice little insurance for me. But kind of looking at this spot, kind of looking at the rest of the user interface here, you can see there's a trade offered here. I don't have the resource they're asking, so I just automatically rejects it. So I'm gonna roll again. So you can see on the left-hand side, you can see all the characters in the game. First of all, at the top, you can see the cards that are in the bank. You can see there's 8 cards of wheat remaining. There's 15. You can see this kind of tells you how many resources people have. So in our actual games, these numbers are replaced by question marks. However, if there's one question mark, it means there's not many resources left in the bank, which means the players have a lot of them. That can help you a lot with figuring out what resources are considered valuable right now, what resources people really want. And so now looking down, you can see my kind of stats are all here, and you can see all the other players' stats. So you can see, first of all, there's the cards in hand right here. So there's the development cards the player has. There's the victory points. And then there's also the length of their longest road. Once you get to 5, that's when you can start get the longest road card, victory points. The number of soldiers they use. Once they get to 3, they get the largest army. That's 2 victory points. And here you can see the remaining things they have to build. So each person only has a limited number of roads, settlements, and cities they can build. That can trip people up too. Because I've had games where I was like, oh, I just got to build one more road and I win. I didn't realize I had 0 roads left to build. So you can see the number of roads that you have down here and the number of roads that everyone else has left to build right there. You can also see the number of settlements you can still build and the number of cities. One cool thing though is every time you build a city, you no longer are using that settlement piece. So technically, if I have 2 cities right here, I can only build, or 2 settlements, I can only build 3 more settlements. However, if I change one of these settlements into a city, all of a sudden I can build an extra settlement too. That's a cool thing to think about. So right now it's back to my turn. I'm looking at this board. I don't need to use I think I'm going to offer a trade. I think maybe I want to try to start upgrading maybe into a city. So I'm going to offer one of these bricks. You see, I'm going to take one of my own bricks from over here, and I'm going to click over here. And that means I'm going to offer trade a brick for 1 stone. And then this check mark will offer it to everyone else. So you can see I offered it. 2 people denied it. However, the blue player accepted. And so they're willing to do this trade. So I'm going to click on this check mark, and you'll see the trade happens. Now, let's try again. Maybe they're willing to do another trade. No, you see, they don't. No one wants to trade. So they quickly go away. And so right now, I have more cards than I would like. So maybe I try to trade one of these wheat. Actually, I can't even trade a wheat for a tree because you'll see over here there's no trees in circulation. So actually, if I had 4 wheat, I could put 4 wheat in and put 1 and now trade with the bank. But I can't do anything now. So actually, I'm going to just pass my turn and wait and see what happens. All right, so here's an option where I can accept this trade. The trade is I trade my stone for 1 of their brick. I don't want to do that trade, so I'm going to click X, which means I reject it. If I clicked check mark, it means I accept. When you're accepting trades and offering trades to other people, it's important to think about 1, what you need, but also if your opponent needs it too. So in some cases, you're going to see a trade and you're like, man, I really need that resource. I should accept it. But it's also important to think about, well, if person A is offering person B a trade, it's probably good for person A to get that trade accepted, right? Because they offered it in the first place. So sometimes you have to not only think about what you need to do to win, but what your opponents need to do to win. You need to get the 10 victory points, and the first one to get there wins. So, other people winning is almost just as bad as not winning yourself. So now you can see I got nice little resources built up. I have, I believe, this little thing is covering it up, so I can't really see. But I have 6 cards in hand, so I want to build or get rid of some. So I'm going to once again try to trade for some stone. 2 people accepted, that's good. So that means that I'm going to be able to trade with one of them, and then I'll be able to trade with the other one too. You see? So now I have enough resources down here. You can see I can now build a city. So I'm going to build a city, and I'm going to build it. I want more stone, so I'm going to build it on this spot right here. So that means that now every single time a 3, 8, or 4 is rolled, I get double the resources from those spots. So now I'm going to pass them the next turn. Let the bots run through their turns. Yeah, so from here now I can continue trying to build another city on my settlement here, so I get more resources. But it's important for me to start thinking about how I'm going to win. Am I going to try to go for longest road, largest army, and how you're going to also usually need 3 or 4 total settlements to win. So I need to start looking around the board and saying, where can I build more settlements? And so looking around, I'm thinking I'm going to try to build a settlement over here. You see, it's important to think about where you can build them because you need to have two. You can't have any settlement on an adjoining corner. So you see, say this corner right here. There's a settlement. My settlement's right here, so I can't build anything there. I can't build a settlement here. Over here, well, my settlement's now far enough away, but this settlement's too close. And so looking around, it's kind of tough sometimes to figure out where you can actually build your settlements. But in this case, I can see a spot over here I can build a settlement, so I'm going to try to get over there. So first thing I need to do to get over there is get roads. So I'm going to try to trade for some lumber, and no one wants to trade with me. That's okay. You know, that probably means I'm just going to have to skip this turn and hope that I get more resources to trade. Oh, you see, all right, it's the trade. They're going to offer brick for, I'm going to accept this trade because, oh, well, they actually accepted from their first. Ignore that. All right, so do I want sheep? I don't really need sheep right now, so I'm going to deny this trade. Even though sheep might be nice for me to have, I have a feeling that giving them that brick will allow them to do something that will help them win that I don't want them to do. All right, so now I rolled a 7. So a 7 gets rolled, and when it has a hand size that's over 7 cards, has to discard half their hand size. No one has to do it this time. But now I get to move the robber. And so with the robber, I'm thinking about how I can hurt my opponents the most. And also it's important to think about how likely the robber is to stay on that spot. So in this case, no one has any development cards. I don't think anyone has a soldier. And also you see blue over here is winning, which means I probably want to hurt blue. Blue's winning because they have the most victory points. So I'm going to actually move this spot over here to this 9, which hurts blue, and it's also hurting green at the same time, and it doesn't hurt me at all. And I'm going to steal a card from green. Cool, I stole wheat. So now let's try to trade for some trees. No one wants to trade for trees, man. Looks like I have to pass the turn again. I'm not really getting lucky with the rolls. Some part of this game is just getting lucky and rolling. Good. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot of options for trade. This person really wants brick. So I personally need timber, so I'm going to click check mark on the timber, and they're going to accept that trade. And you see now I have a tree or lumber or whatever. Cool. So now I can start thinking about trying to build my next settlement. So I'm going to build a road there, and now I need to build one more road. So let's see. Cool. So now I traded for a second one, so I can go to here. And now I just need the resources to build a settlement, which means I need one more brick and one more lumber. I can attempt to see if people would trade with me, but I have a feeling they're not going to because there's only one brick. Oh, yeah, but they really want some that. So now if I can trade for a tree. Yep, cool. So now you can see I can do this. And you can see there's only one option where I can put it. So I'm going to put it right there, spend it, and have my resource. This is cool because now I'm on both this 9 wheat, but I'm also on this port. And so you can, ports are nice because they allow you to trade with the bank for cheaper than the normal 4-to-1 ratio. In this case, however, you'll see some of these ports have specific signs above them. And if you hover on them, you can see this is a wool port, which means that I can trade 2 wool for any resource now. That's important because if I get a lot of wool from, like, say, this spot or later in the game, then I can trade them away easier. So right now, I'm starting to think about building another city, so I'm going to start trying to trade for the resources I need to do that. This is one thing about playing with bots is bots will accept a lot of your trades. It's a little tougher to trade like this against real players. You have to do some debating and negotiating. All right. So now is a good time to kind of check in on the state of the game. And so you see a lot of stuff just happened. I'm gonna build a city right here. Cool. So right now I have 5 victory points. We have 4 victory points for green. Green's having a nice little thing going with their little stuff here. Blue is the one I'm worried about because blue also has 5 victory points. And looking up here, blue has a lot. They're gonna be getting a lot of stone. Every single time a 5 is rolled, they're gonna get 4 resources, which worries me. And so what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna use my knight. You see I click on a little blue thing and now I can pick it, and that allows me to move the robber. So I'm going to move it over here to their 5, so this way they're not going to be getting any ore from this, which should hopefully hurt them and help me win. I don't want to do this straight, so I'm going to hit the X so it goes away. Oh, wow. The blue just got really lucky. Blue rolled a 7, which allowed them to move the robber off their spot and back to mine. That was just really bad luck. So what I can try to do now is trade for a sheep so I can buy another development card. And you see I have another soldier. So if this robber stole my space in another turn from now, I can use that soldier to move it. And also, you can see what I'm kind of doing now is I'm actually going for largest army. So once you get 3 soldiers, you get the largest army, and whoever has the most soldiers will get the largest army. A largest army is worth 2 victory points. As a general rule of thumb, it's hard to win the game without having either largest army or longest road. It's just because you'll find yourself, you'll get to like 8 victory points, and getting those last couple will be really hard. And so it's sometimes nice to know, like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to get largest army. Because I don't think I'm getting largest road, because you can see red over here has a nice little road they're building that's pretty long. So what I'm going to do now is actually, I'm going to see if I can trade for 1 more ore, because I'm really close to having 3 ore. Okay, cool. Now that I have 3 ore, I can then build our city right here. So again, even more resources, and now I'm with 6 victory points. And a couple of things about victory points. Also, so you can get victory points. You get 1 per settlement, 2 per city. You also get 2 for largest army or 2 for longest road. There's some other ways you can get victory points too. And the other way you can get victory points is through victory point cards. And so I don't have any now, but you can actually, when you buy a development card, one of those options is a card that gives you +1 victory points. So it's something you have to think about, because sometimes if say, for example, Foul is sitting over here. They have 6. I can tell from the board they have 6 victory points. However, say they have 3 development cards in hand. Okay, so I don't know what those development cards are, but they might be +1 victory points. So in that case, if someone has 3 development cards in hand, there's a possibility they have 9 victory points already, and you don't know that. And that's one of the things you have to be aware about when people have a lot of development cards in their hand and they're at a high level of victory points. Is if this person has 6 victory points, that's one thing. If they have 9 victory points, that's going to totally change the way I play, and it's going to maybe stop me from trading with them and things like that because they're so close to winning the game. All right, so now it's my turn. Looking at this board, I have to try to either connect this to get a longer road here or start building more settlements. Looking around, I don't think I'm going to really be able to get longest road because of how long the road is over here, 6. So I think what I'm going to actually try to do is get another soldier or get more development cards. Actually, no one has any. So no one actually has any sheep, so I can't even trade for that. So what I'm going to actually do is just pass the turn for now. Sometimes if you can't do anything, you just have to pass the turn and see what happens and hold on to your resources. All right, so in this case, sure, I'm going to do this trade. I could do some lumber. Okay, so I'm about to do an interesting thing. So you can buy as many development cards as you want per turn, but you can only use 1. And you can't use a development card the same turn you buy it from the bank. So what I'm going to do is, I haven't rolled my dice yet, but you can use a development card anytime during your turn. And so what I'm going to do, or you can do it if it's a knight. So in this case, I'm going to use the knight before I roll. The reason is, the knight's on my spot here at the 8, and so I want to move it. Moving it does 2 things. I'm going to move it over here. So not only now can I get resources if I roll an 8, but if I roll a 5, they don't get resources. So if you're planning on using a knight during your turn, I would heavily recommend using the knight before you roll your dice. Look, I just rolled an 8, so if that knight had not been used to move the robber, I would have missed out on 2 wheat. Pretty big deal. So now I got a lot of resources over here, so I gotta think about what I'm doing. What I'm actually gonna do is I can try to connect this road here, or I can try to build a road to make another settlement. I think I actually might try to connect this road and see if I can go for largest road and largest army. It's tough, but if I do that, then I can win the game just right there. So I'm actually going to build this here and build this here. So in order to build largest road, you see this person has 7 over here. I don't need to get 7. I need to get to 8. My road essentially in a tie, the largest road will go to whoever had it first. So I need to still build 2 more roads to get there, but I think I might be able to get there. And once again, I'm going to try to trade for a sheep. So no one wants to trade 1 for 1. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to offer 2 wheat for 1 sheep. Maybe someone will take it. And yeah, you see now orange is willing to trade. So I'm going to do that trade. And I'm going to use that resource to buy another development card. Oh, and this is perfect. You see at ×2, that means I get to use this card to build 2 free roads, which will probably allow me to steal largest road soon. Sorry, now I'm gonna roll. Alright, so I can choose to use this largest road right now, or I can wait. Sometimes it's good to wait on these cards, because if I use it, it can be really a big surprise. Just today I was playing a game where someone used this largest road ×2 to win the game out of nowhere. So, but the thing is, I'm actually going to use it now, and I'll tell you why. So, I'm going to use this right over here. And I did that so that I can possibly build a settlement right here if I get the right resources. And also, it puts me closer to getting it. And like right now, I'm not that worried about them like stopping me because I know I'm close. So now, let's see. Maybe I can trade to get another development card. That's the goal right now, is to get another development card so I can get another soldier. Because if I use 1 more soldier, I get largest army. So I'm going to buy it. And once again, I got another road ×2. Not perfect. I want that 3rd soldier. However, this road ×2 will probably help me get the longest road. So development cards can be very useful in that sense, because they let you kind of do bursty plays and help you get to those victory points from largest road, largest army. Alright. So I'm actually worried right now, because you see blue over here has 8 victory points already. And so if I take largest road for them, they'll go back down to 6, but I need to keep an eye on them because they're getting close. So now, I'm not going to do any of those trades because I don't really need that resource now. I don't want to give them something that might help them. Okay, I rolled a 7. So you see that actually here, blue had 8 cards in hand, so they needed to discard 4 cards. So they discarded 4 green. And up here is kind of log that just tells you what happens with each roll, which is kind of advanced stuff, but if you want to kind of keep track of how many resources somebody is getting, it's useful because you can look up here. So now I'm going to move this robber. Blue once again is kind of threatening, so I'm going to move it back up to blue's spot right over here. So now I'm actually going to use this right here to, boom, you see right there? I surpassed the longest road, so now I have those 2 victory points. So now if I get a 3rd soldier and I can use it, I'll win because I got the 10. So what I'll try to do, in a real game, this probably wouldn't happen because people would not allow you to trade usually when you get this close to winning. But against these bots will usually accept a lot of trades. They don't really think about. They only really think about how they're going to win. They don't think about how you're going to win, which you can see is to their detriment. You need to always be thinking about how your opponents are going to win. So now, boom, cool. So I'm gonna buy this development card, and boom, you see I have another soldier right here. So now, I'm just gonna pass the turn, pretend like I'm no threat. And so if it gets to my turn, I still have that longest road at 10. All I got to do is use the soldier, and I'll get the 10 victory points because I'll get largest army. So I'm not going to even trade with anybody because I'm just trying to get to my turn. I hope no one can take largest road. Okay, so now it's my turn. You see, I have largest road. I'm at 8 victory points. If I get 3 soldiers, I get largest army. So now I'm just literally just going to use this soldier, click it, and I won. You see? So that's kind of a state. And if you're curious, at the end of the game, you can see dice stats and stuff. But going over here, let's look at resource stats because I wanted to kind of illustrate a point to you. So if you look over here, you can see this is the number of resources that a person got from rolling the dice in this column right here. You see, it was pretty close. However, I over here rolled and got the most resources from rolling. And I just wanted to reiterate once again, like this game, at the end of it, there's a lot of luck involved with dice rolls and there's strategy involved with building. But if you get a lot of resources, you will generally do pretty good. So just always remember that when you're building your settlements and you're thinking about how you're going to move your game along, always think about how can I get the most resources, and you'll usually turn out pretty okay. All right, so that's pretty much it. You'll learn more advanced stuff. You can look up advanced strategy guides, but hopefully this was useful for kind of showing you how to use the client and how to kind of play a simple game of Catan and giving you the framework to build on. So see you guys in the tournament.